He's Christoph Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, and you'll find him on Football Night in America. They got the Bears and the Rams. Festivities start at 6 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Good to see you again. Give me the team or the player with the most pressure this weekend.
Oh, well, I think, team-wise, that's a good one. Player, I still think we're probably on the Josh Allen conversation just because of course, yeah, I know Burrow not being in there, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, everybody thinks that. J- As I've told you before, and we discussed, I think the last time on, we're looking at the modern day John Elway. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen play the sport. He's yet to get to a Super Bowl. I think he feels that pressure. I think you could see that on his face last weekend, right? So that would be one, right? The other guy I would say is CJ Stroud. I mean, CJ Stroud last week, how could there not be pressure? Everybody's going to be looking at him. That's the Houston Texans defense is like the 2013 Seahawks or the 2015 Broncos or the 2000 Ravens. They're the best unit left in this playoffs. And the way that he played, I mean, I was yelling at the screen going, just kneel on the ball, Texans, kneel on it, and you'll win 14-3. Just don't do anything again, right? So we're going to be watching him for sure. And I think after that, the team I probably look at to have the most pressure would be the Denver Broncos, honestly. Denver just being at home, expectations, the first big-time home playoff game, and we're a number one seed in the Sean Payton era and Bo Nix's first home playoff game. So this is uncharted territories for them. I would think that would be the team I'd probably pick under the most pressure.
No Sam Darnold on the list, huh?
Well, there's that for sure. Yes, everybody, I felt like that was almost too obvious. We know Sam Darnold. He's going to be the guy we look at. I'm a big believer in the Seattle Seahawks. I will be shocked if they lose the football game on Saturday night. I think they are in another class from the San Francisco 49ers. Their roster, their defense is just a tick below the Houston Texans. I think they're a team on the rise. I hope he's healthy. But yeah, we'll be watching him. That's an obvious one.
Give me the game that could be a blowout of all the 4 games.
You know what? If you had to make me choose one game that I think could be a blowout, I think it would be the Seattle Seahawks 49er football game. That would be the one. I'm amazed that the 49ers are there. I'm friends with Shanahan, and I just think this is maybe his greatest coaching job ever. When you just talk about everything that's happened, the injuries, right? All of that, the defense, they're just decimated. They got destroyed in that Week 18 matchup. I mean, I don't need to say much. You saw Shanahan at halftime. He was like, I'm just glad we're down by 10 points, right? Because I think he was like, we should be down 20, 24. So I do look at that and go, do I think Seattle can slow down the Shanahan offense? Yes, of course I do. And Seattle was so close on offense to kind of blowing them out of the water in Week 18. I think that if there's one, that'll be the game.
Help us understand what Kyle Shanahan does for his quarterback in the huddle, and then, well, they cut that off with, 15 seconds to go. But
sure.
What exactly is he saying to Brock Purdy and as he gets ready to call the play or go to the line of scrimmage?
I don't think he says much to him in that, from my understanding, right? I think they've already been wired as a robot during the week to kind of know, hey, when I call this, he makes it simple for them. When I call this...
Oh, so it's not in-game as much as it is prior to that, leading up to it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
He's already come into the game plan going, listen, I'm going to call this play with this play in the huddle too, so you got to figure out and just look at this guy. If he goes this way, check to the other play. If he goes to this way, stay with the play we got called. But he's an ultimate, what I always kind of the phrase I use is code cracker, right? Shanahan is rare in the history of NFL football, and I would say Bill Belichick could do this the other way around. Shanahan's dad could probably do it as well. He could be a defensive coordinator. He understands the defensive rules every bit as much as any defensive coach in the sport, and that's what he does. So when he gets in get into film during the week and starts to go, okay, what do they do when I play this formation and that formation? He tries to find something to go, all right. I know they're going to kind of be in this one defense or maybe this other defense. And now I'm going to devise a few plays off of it that are, if I can get them in this one defense, it's going to challenge some rules of some of the guys in this coverage, right? And as long as he can figure out, okay, you're going to be in this, he now can kind of teach his receivers and maybe a play action pass to go, wait, this guy's got this rule. And if we do this to him, it kind of blows up his rules. And now he's in trouble and they can't stop it. So I know that's a long way to say that. It's a deep conversation, but I hope that answered the question pretty well.
Weather is perhaps going to play a role in the Bears game.
Right.
Who is affected, aside from the quarterback? Who's going to be affected the most with this weather?
Well, I think it's the ones I go to after that are running backs, right? Running backs, I think, just because it is so cold, the contact, the ball does become slick. So anybody carrying the football, I think, is the next guy you look at. We know, playing in the cold, it's a different ball game, and when you get hit, it hurts a little bit more, and everything's a little colder and drier and slicker and all that. But I think that's what you look at. After that, it depends if the field gets frozen. Then you can start to look at DBs and receivers and can they keep their feet. But as far as the quarterbacks, like you mentioned, I'm not worried about either one of those quarterbacks. I mean, they can throw the ball through anything, right? These are two of the greatest arms in the sport, right up there with Josh Allen in that category, right? Where they can throw spirals, they can cut it right through the wind and still make power throws. And I don't think it'll be affected too much on Sunday night.
Sam Darnold with an oblique injury. Explain to us how that would affect him.
Yeah, I've had it. It's an annoying injury for a quarterback. Think about it. When you're throwing a lot of your golf swing, anything like that, baseball swing, you're swinging and you're trying to create that torque between the lower and upper half of your body, right? And that's what great throwers do. You see Josh Allen, he's like this sometimes, and then he lets it go. Well, that muscle there, your oblique, is what's letting you rotate out of it. And when your arm is disconnected as well and you have a longer lever, it really can pull on there. And I'm telling you, it's something that I had before, and it bothered me for weeks. And the first week it happened, I mean, I couldn't throw a football for the first 7 or 10 days I had it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to be interested to see what he's got there, right? The guy at LSU, Nussmeier, he had it this year, and it really affected his play. That is not an easy injury to deal with, and I'll certainly be looking at Sam Darnold early in that football game to see where he's at with that.
Dante Moore going back to Oregon.
Yeah.
Boomer Esiason said that the Jets benefited because they probably would have taken Dante Moore, and Dante Moore is not ready to play, which is an interesting perspective on that. But who benefited the most of Dante Moore going back to Oregon? Dante Moore or Ty Simpson of Alabama?
Oh, well, I think Ty Simpson here just in as far as right now, because now he's automatically, I think, QB2. I haven't studied Trinidad Chambliss yet. I know he's damn good and he's exciting, but I think the NFL is a little hesitant on the smaller quarterback between Kyler, Tua, Bryce Young, right? So that's something that I'm interested to dive into. But I think Ty Simpson, and I'll say this, Dan, I agree with Dante Moore. I think that was the right decision.
Yeah,
he's got the talent to be the number one pick in the draft. He has all that, but I'd like to see him let his body mature a little bit more. I think he can become a little bit of a better leader and show some better, body language during the game as well. His talent jumps off the screen, but yeah, playing those reps, you know how important that is. I'm glad he's going back.
You're a New York Giants family. What did the family think of John Harbaugh?
The G-Man. I mean, we loved it. This is something I've been banging the table really since the end of November. I knew in the summer that Harbaugh and this could happen. I had said it on my podcast with Florio, all that. Was very aware that this was a possibility with Harbaugh and the Ravens, knowing some people in the situation. So I was not surprised it happened when it did happen. And I've been kind of, since the end of November, like, man, Tomlin or Harbaugh? We want Tomlin or Harbaugh. Of course, it's Harbaugh. I think he fits the Giant way. I really do. Right? Tough. He has a little bit of a demeanor like a Bill Parcells, a Tom Coughlin. He's going to know how to talk to the media. And I think his core beliefs are core Giant beliefs. I said yesterday, like when I was growing up or even playing in the NFL, the one thing about the Giants was always, oh my gosh, look at the Giants walk on the field. Holy cow, how big are they, right? They were always the look team. Whoa, they got a huge tight end, huge tackles, big defensive tackles, pass rushers, all of that. They've gotten away from that. Harbaugh, as we know in Baltimore, they've made it a yearly acquisition of pillaging the biggest, baddest mofos on the planet to get on their football team. And that's the Giant way. So I'm excited about that too. And the Giants got a good nucleus that's young that he can grow and really build something here in New York.
He's Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, his podcast Unbuttoned, and you can see him on Football Night in America. It'll be the Bears and the Rams on Sunday. They start at 6 Eastern. How much have you watched of Fernando Mendoza?
Oh, a lot. I have. I mean, being a Big Ten team, doing NBC, Big Ten college Saturdays, right, and all of that. I saw him. I'm very impressed with Fernando Mendoza. I really am. I mean, his throwing he's a machine throwing the football. When you talk about power, accuracy, right, all the different types of throws, he's a better athlete than he gets credit for, right? So all of that, yeah, really impressed. Am I blown away with him like I've been other guys? I'm not going to lie to you and say yes. No, I mean, is he like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes when I saw them coming out, or even C.J. Stroud, who I really thought was special coming out as well? I don't know if I feel that way about him, but he's certainly worthy of being the number one pick and the first quarterback off the board.
Yeah, as a source said to me, there's nothing he does great, but there's nothing that he does wrong. That he knows what he's doing.
He does. He knows how to play.
I don't know if that's the best description for the number one overall pick, but we always look for flaws. That guy's throwing motion, or he got away with, some bad habits in college. He doesn't anticipate. He doesn't, line of scrimmage process, all of those things. It feels like he has all of those things.
Exactly.
But I said, would you sign up if I said he's going to be Joe Flacco?
I would sign up for that. Of course. Yes. I think Joe Flacco is one of the underrated quarterbacks of all time, right? Haven't seen that in person and how big he is and how he throws the football. And then, of course, again, I think like Mendoza, sneaky underrated athleticism to move in the pocket, scramble when something was there. Yeah, I'd sign up for Joe Flacco right now if I were an NFL football team. But I know what you're saying, right? He is a slam dunk, right? Machine throwing the football. But am I wowed by him sometimes? Am I wowed by his backyard ability to do stuff like that we know is so important in the NFL now? No, I'm not. But NFL coaches are going to like him for all the reasons you explained, Dan. He knows how to read coverage. He knows how to make the appropriate throws. He knows how to anticipate. He can play in the pocket and do all that. And especially a coach that knows, hey, we got a good offensive coordinator and a good system, and we need a guy that can run this system, right? That's where he's really going to, benefit, and they're going to like him a lot.
What's the next best opening in the NFL?
Oh, well, I think the Atlanta or Tennessee and then the Ravens, of course. I mean, the Ravens, it's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So you got that right there. And of course, a lot of pieces. So I look at that and go, that's one of them. The Falcons are definitely one of them, right? With that offensive line, they got Drake London, they got some young defensive talent. And then the Tennessee Titans are the other one I look at because they do have an offensive line. They got one of the best defensive tackles in football, and you got the quarterback. To me, those are the top ones available right now.
Yeah, but you got to give me at least 3 years in Tennessee.
Probably, but you know how it is. You probably would have said maybe the Patriots need 2 years or the Bears need 2 years, right? So you get the right coach in there with that new coach bump of energy, and then also having a new way of how they're coaching and playing. A team's going, wait, we need a year to figure out the schematics of what this guy does. And then they got money to spend on top of that and can really, I think they're going to have the most money out of anybody in salary cap this offseason. They can certainly turn it around to where at least they're a pain in the butt in the AFC next year.
Have a great weekend. As always, thanks for joining us, Chris.
Hey, always, man. You the man. Sell those jerks. I said hi, all right?
Hey, jerks. He says hi.